Told you I was going to get a haircut. Told you I was going to get a haircut. My last appearance, other than yesterday. I'm trying to come to grips with why Hicken gets like my Jason Witten dime bet I made with Dan when they was signed by the Cowboys out of the Monday Night Football booth. I took under 46. He took over 46.
Right. Not that you wish ill upon the man, but probably at this point I'd start rooting for an injury.
I'm going to go Adam Schefter right here and
got his sources are reaching out.
Check my phone a little bit. What's going on there? Okay.
Deep Throat's reaching out to Jeff.
Were you watching that? I was watching that. I happened to be watching. I was watching my girl Hannah. Hannah was doing Sports Center, and she's talking to Schefter, and she's trying to have a conversation about.
Did he have both his phones going?
No, he just had one, and she's talking to him. He's there.
Yeah.
That's rude.
It is rude. It doesn't look good on television.
No, I mean,
but Schefter's a big time like 2-phone guy.
I guess.
Always grinding.
I mean, if you're, I would make a rule if I was at ESPN in the future. If you're actually on camera, leave your phone on the desk. You can always check it in 2 seconds.
And still, when it comes to local
well, it's so funny too because they go, and I understand you want to report who's inactive, but at the end of the day, what they're like carrying their phones around. There's nothing. What's the last like super breaking story that any of those guys have had? Andrew Luck? I mean, that's a big story.
Probably, and that broke on a Saturday.
Right. It's not a big story that, Danny Amendola is going to be inactive. Right. I'm just hearing in Detroit.
Right. Is your career going to get derailed because you weren't the first one to get it out there that Amendola is not going to go?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not.
Lots going on this week. Obviously, we're counting down towards Jags, Panthers, and, of course, big one in the swamp, Florida-Auburn. And Florida's, season really gets truly and really underway as they try to
watch
prove
this.
that they
handle some family dynamics here. I'm in the middle of taping something. Okay. All right.
There, look at
That's
that.
how I handle.
Look at that. Family drama.
See my calm demeanor in real life.
Yeah.
That's all of it.
It's an illusion.
It's one of my sons. It's never good to get a phone call at like 10 in the morning. Right?
No.
Unless your kid works like night side or something. But anytime you get a call.
But if it's not somebody you typically hear from at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Well, I have I have grown kids now. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about like a high school or an elementary school.
They're grown boys.
Yeah, you're like, 10 o'clock. Yeah, most of the world's 8 to 5 right now. Right. So we'll see.
They're out grinding. What are you up to, son?
I guess I'll have to get down to that in just a little bit.
There you go, Dick Dave. Find the answers. Jeff, you had a contentious moment this morning.
I did?
With the
I usually do.
Yeah, with one of the texters who challenged your football IQ, and we
it is very low.
It's now become a conceptual bit.
Oh, it has.
It's being bounced around the offices. I'm hearing a lot of debate about whether we make this a real thing, like the Guggen's Court. Bring them in, and they show down.
Isn't it awesome? I had this idea, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand, and if you're watching you people are very nice. Most people are nice, 99%. There's 1% of the country that are just jerks. People that like to be antagonistic and mean and
just bad.
Yeah, they are. And those people tend to live on the text line, and so instead of like giving cognitive points, they just say things nasty and insulting. And so I think what Dan and I would like to do is each day pick one of the nastiest of the nasty.
Just gotta call them out.
And have them come into the radio station the next morning, and we'll put them on the mic, and we'll get to hear about their vast knowledge and experience, and how they would handle things differently. But we probably won't do that because then we would subject you, the listening audience, to 5 minutes of really some pretty bad drool.
You already get 4 hours of it every day.
Which is too many. At least 3. We also had a movement maybe to change the first hour of the program. I'm thinking about now calling the 6 o'clock hour the 6 o'clocker.
There you go.
Welcome to the 6 o'clocker. I'm Jeff Prosser. Stay tuned for the drill coming up next.
It's like a less sexy nooner.
Correct. I'll take a 6 o'clocker or a nooner, whatever I can get.
Whenever, wherever.
Most of us will.
David asked a good question.
Okay.
He says if Minshew keeps up his record pace, will he be the Rookie of the Year? I don't see how he wouldn't be.
Well, his pace right now, by the way, we pointed it out this morning. Look, we've got a small sample size. We're not saying that we don't. However, Gardner Minshew has done things through the first 4 games that not like only the best have done, that no one has done. No quarterback has ever in his first 4 games thrown for 200 yards and had a passer rating of at least 95. Well, no one isn't correct. Gardner Minshew has.
Right.
Going into the game on Sunday, only 3 quarterbacks had passed for 200 yards and had a rating of 95 or higher in the first 3 games. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Gardner Minshew. And that's what we said about Minshew Mania. Look, Minshew Mania is fun and it's cute, and the quad hugging jorts and the headbands and the Uncle Rico. But that all fades pretty quickly if you don't bring the talent, the production, the execution. That's what happened to Tebow Mania in football. At some point, if you're not playing and and excelling, the mania dies down a little bit. So that's what's so encouraging about Gardner Minshew. And I'll reiterate something I said before. This hasn't exactly been like the primrose path to success. Think about it. Gardner Minshew is standing on the sidelines of the Kansas City game. He's got his hat on backwards. He figures he'll probably maintain that pose for all 16 games this year. He did not look ready at all in the preseason. Forced into action, completes his first 13, sets a record for completion percentage. Well, now your result, your reward, you're going to have to start. Your first start on the road against a division opponent. Falls behind, leads him back, comes up a coaching decision short of at least tying the game. Well, now you come home, your first home start, and you play in prime time, which ups the ante against the one team that's dominated the Jaguars through the years, the Tennessee Titans.
Your most hated rival.
Your most hated rival. You win that game. Now you go on the road where you have to play in one of the loudest, toughest stadiums in all of football, Mile High in Denver, against a team with a great history, who's hungry at 0-3. And not only do you win the game, but you lead a second half comeback, including a fourth quarter drive.
Well, you're hurt, and your team's trying to throw it away at every turn.
But my point is, Minshew has gotten to this 200 yards and 95 passer rating in that petri dish.
Yeah,
it's not like, he came in and the Jets.
Right.
And then, the Dolphins came to town, and then you went on the road and played the Bengals. I mean...
Right.
These have been important.
We're all enamored with the headbands and the mustache and all that.
But without the play, that goes away fast.
The guy's putting up elite numbers.
Right.
It's crazy. And it's a small sampling size. And is it sustainable? I don't know.
Well,
probably not.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. And if he keeps it up like this, to answer your question, absolutely.
I can't. I'm trying to, we're early in the year. I'm trying to think of the rookies who have, Daniel Jones probably could make a run depending on what he does in the Giants in that media market. Kyler Murray's it doesn't look like he's going to be the rookie of the year. He's just got to get... And that's what's so incredibly exciting about Minshew. I mean, here's Minshew on an offense that hasn't been known for explosive production, and he's outperforming these higher drafted. I mean, Dwayne Haskins looked like a disaster on Sunday.
He looked terrible.
I mean, that's not what. And he came into a game just like Gardner Minshew did, the kid's been amazing. He's been fun. But watch out when they go to Carolina this weekend because they have their own version. That's Kyle Allen. The Panthers are 3-9 in their last 12, and he has all 3 wins.
Well, like you pointed out, Kyle Allen obviously wasn't a guy they were banking on. They drafted
Will Grier
in the third round.
Yeah.
They weren't sitting there going, well, we're good if Cam gets hurt. We've got Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
They weren't. Obviously, you don't take a guy in the third round if you think Kyle Allen's all that.
So I'm really looking forward to the weekend. We got Florida Auburn. And
it's a good weekend.
Dan Mullen kind of publicly pushing his offensive line, much like Doug Marrone did last week. If you're a Gator fan, you sure hope they respond like Marrone's offensive line did in the run game against Denver over the weekend. And then on Sunday, obviously, you've got the Jags at the Panthers. Meanwhile, my Atlanta Braves get started. First of all, we have playoff baseball tonight, the wild card game in the National League. And then I guess the news around the Braves is that the schedule has been released, at least as far as the start times. So the Braves play Thursday at either 5 or 6, depending on if the Brewers win the wild card, they'll play at 6 or at 5, I believe, and then it's at 6 the other way. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure, but it's 5 or 6, and then Friday is 4:35.
It's a good weekend for sports, gang.
Oh, awesome!
Lock in. We'll be back tomorrow. Of course, Wednesday's always busy on the drill with Get Smart John. So we'll be getting after it on a Hump Day edition, and hopefully you tune in, especially to the 6 o'clocker, America's new favorite morning drive show. Love you, kids.